What's up, WWE Champions Universe? It's Lee and Rusty from Champions Chat, and we are on a Friday stream with 64 of our very best friends, and we're going to power rate some people. Rusty, who do we have tonight?
Well, hi, best friends. We have an oldie but a goodie. Lee has said that this is the greatest free character we've ever been given. He's also called him the greatest B tier character in Champions history. He is none other than the unfortunate son, Dominic. I almost said Dominic Guerrero.
Dominic Guerrero!
The
That's
custody
almost
match.
fitting. Yeah.
Dominic Mysterio, of course. Exciting. The technician that just, like a zombie, he just doesn't die. He just won't go away.
Yeah. In fact, every time we make a video about Zombie Dom, it actually gets really good views, which tells me people are interested in him. You know, he's free. He came out like 2 or 3 years ago, and yet he continues to be meta relevant when the chase characters from that time frame maybe haven't been. Now, I guess Zombie Ray still hangs in there, but still some good stuff here. So I'm gonna run him a little more bare bones, so to speak, to get started and show you what he can do with just some basic things. But this guy has so much he can do. Like, I mean, we could just add thing after thing after thing on top of him. So we're going to run him a little bit bare first. Triple yellow is the way. 8 MP across the board. The Brain Blender DDT. Deal damage. Increase your green gem damage by 145% for 2 turns. The Drag You Under. Deal damage. Make 14 random gems into 1 turn countdown gems that will make 2 random gems into green gems at the end of the countdown. And then the Zombie Attack Submission. Generate 18 random sub gems. Do damage for 3 turns. Remaining submission gems turn into multiplies of strength 3. In order to get him loaded turn 1 in Feud, you will need a line bonus with this setup that I'm going to run. Or you would need to replace Chelsea with not Zombie Hogan, with Santa Hogan there. However, 1 to yellow is very common in the bottom line bonus, so I don't feel like that's too much to ask. So we've got Kofi, so that yellow moves start with 4, plus your turn bonus is 5. Braun gives you yellow moves start with 2 more, so you're up to 7, and then multiplies go up by 1. The brand new Chelsea Green gems do 40%, multiplies do 60, and Old Faithful, you got to have Zombie Ray for Zombie Dom, except you can now run solo Showboat as well. Both of those are pretty rare, though. So I would count this as a rare thing. Moves and gems that generate green gems will generate 3 more each, so all 14 of those countdown gems will make 5, which breaks the board as long as you don't lose too many in the mix. Then you can see this new strap filter setup. All right, you were going to say something?
I just was going to say, I think I might object to Ray being a rare thing simply because he's on the MLC prize wall this month for the 3 emblems. Also, he's had a tour that if you had, I can't remember who it was, but if you had one person, you got a bunch of Ray shards earlier this month.
Yeah.
I think he's more accessible now. The chat can let us know whether or not they agree Ray is a, quote, rare thing or not.
Maybe that's one of our lightning polls, instead of just saying, like, what score do you give? Like, is Zombie Ray rare now? Because, if you max the MLC this month, he's there. He's on your roster. So, anyway. Look at the new strap filter set up here. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I don't even have to go into things to tell you that it's a 50% strap with double Fury 2s. I do have a 200% yellow gem metal on there. And we are running all heart, one of the original plates that ever went into the game. Whenever you generate 3 or more submission gems, increase your green and purple gem damage by 100%. Now, you're going to say, well, wait a second. You could run This one right here, yes, we can. That would count as more of a rare thing, so we're going to add it later. And you can also run some things here, like maybe a Heart of Jade, or what I'm excited about, the Break Green, Make Yellow Turtle Plate right here. So, yes, we can keep adding things as we go, but this is his bare bones build. And we're going to go up against Zombie Sammy here. Rusty, what do you think of Ray now that you, or I mean, of Dom now that you have Ray on your roster?
Um, yeah, I mean, gosh, I like Dom. I don't know that his Achilles heel is resolved for me. Just meaning, if you get pinned and your
Yep.
countdowns go off, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Um, but much like Tech Miz, right? You got that very accessible technician that hits very hard, and yet if one thing doesn't go right, you know, yeah, like the
Yep.
cascade or the countdown's going off. So feels kind of baked into some of these designs, you
Yep.
know?
Yep. And he almost showed the Achilles heel right there because he was one gem away from getting pinned and ruining everything. But his second Achilles heel right here is that Zombie Sammy wiped out almost half of my special things. So I only hit for 37. What in the world? I only hit for 37 million that time, which was not his capability. Like, that does not show what Dom can do for sure. But yeah, if you get pinned or if the opponent eliminates your stuff, a lot of your stuff, that is the big disadvantage to Dom. And I mean, I think for a B tier to have a glaring foil like that, I think is pretty fair. You know, I think that is pretty fair. But like this time around, he didn't eliminate most of my stuff. He didn't pin me at all, so this one's going to be a much bigger hit. Right there. Yeah, 64 million. So I went 37 million one time, 64 million the second. But it does show his power rating right off rip with very few, if any, things. He can hit 64 million. He can hit over the 60 million mark. So, yeah. Yeah, talk to me about how you feel about that, and I'm going to set him up with a couple more rare things. But that was where we power rate him. He hit all we
Right.
needed right there.
So Lightning Poll is live for Is Zombie Rey Mysterio considered a rare thing? I put it at a 3-minute timer because this demonstration is going to take us a while. So you can get settled in there, grab your cup of hot cocoa, and cast your vote. Right now, 73% of our viewers are saying no. Zombie Ray is no longer a rare thing. That's really interesting. So if you think he is rare, you don't have Zombie Ray, lock in your vote right now. Let your voice be heard.
Interesting.
Also, Lee,
What's
the
up, Gary
pressure
Guy?
is on because Iron Sheik 84 is here in the chat. Number one Dominic hater of all time, number one Ray hater of all time. He's here to make sure there are no shenanigans with this power rating.
With Dork Jr. Jr., as he likes to call him.
Waiting in a mask and Dork Jr., I think is what he called him.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Oh,
Classic.
that's great. That's classic. So again, we're past what we're power ratings. We already got the 60 million with the basic setup, but if you add the Heart of Jade plate and you add the Naomi plate, he went from 65 million to 85 million right there. So
Wow.
I don't know that we need anything else to show. I mean, there's still other plates. There's still, I mean, you can set him up a bunch of different ways, but that shows what we need to see, I think. Is there anything else you want to see, Rusty, before we go to the power rating?
I really like that vintage glamour plate on Dom because it makes him recycle flawlessly if an accident should happen. So that's one that I've begun to run on him.
That nurse is damaged by 1 or 200% by running that.
I agree.
Okay.
I think Naomi plate or All Heart plate, I want that in boss battle. If I was a free to play player, or which I was for like 6 years, right?
Right.
I would want that vintage glamour if I'm taking him into on the battlefield regularly in a competitive
Okay,
form, just because I don't know if I trust him all the way. So, but
sure.
that's my 2 cents in it. That's probably not strategy for everybody. So,
Yeah. Well, there's a great trade-off now though because you can now run if you get it because the turtles are coming back. We don't know when, but we know they are coming back. One of the turtle plates, the new era, whenever you break 4 green gems, generate 10 yellow at the end, and it's an ultimate
that's
plate.
nice.
So you can
That's
run
really
the
nice.
Naomi and the ultimate. Boom, you got him. So,
Yeah, I like that. That's a good call. Hey, the poll is closed.
okay.
67% said no, he ain't rare. Zombie Ray is now downgraded to common in
Wow.
WWE Champion. What a difference one MLC can make. Because if I would asked that 3 weeks ago, everyone would have said yes, he's rare.
Right? Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. And Iron Sheik, I'm just seeing it here, says the term is glass cannon, which is cool. I like that term. So if
Right.
you get pinned, you're SOL. He's a glass cannon. So like if he goes off, boom, you're gone. But if it gets blocked, the whole thing explodes. I think that's a fun term. That's a fair term. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, let's look at Zombie Dom here. So, right off rip, we talk about power. Power is an objective metric. Did he hit something or did he not? And that something for 5 full points is did he hit 100% or more of the meta's current top end damage, which is 60 million. He did hit 60 million very easily. Actually, 65 million easily with few tricks. Oops, that's not how you spell tricks, and went up near 90 million with a few.
Do you spell it Trix or what?
Yeah, no, I spelled it like ticks. He put a few ticks
Oh,
on him.
okay. I was like, how'd you miss that one?
Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids.
Exactly, like the cereal. You spell it like the cereal.
Yeah, no. So he's a
Hey, at
5 in
least
power. Pretty
Lee, one
easy
of the
all day.
smartest guys I know, Rinsko, agrees
Uh-huh.
with me. He also runs the vintage glamour plate on Dominic. So I'm not the lone Dom runner, and I just don't want to use a high end plate on Dominic. It just feels wrong to have to move a all heart around. So
Interesting.
vintage glamour can stay there on Dom, at least in
Okay.
my opinion.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's why I appreciate there's so many different ways to run things. Because for me,
Yeah.
like we were talking to Merrick's earlier yesterday about the way to run Zombie Sammy, and he said, "Hey, I hate the way you run Zombie Sammy." I was like, "That's fine. Like he can be run a
Right.
different way. Like I prefer like when I see him hitting 200 million, that makes me smile. Like I prefer the big hit, and it's turn one, all etc." But yeah, you can absolutely run the vintage glamour plate and be a little safer with him because he does have a big Achilles heel. But anyway, for speed, also objective, at least 2 of the following have to be true. MP charge is equal to or lesser than 6. That is not true. Moves recycle flawlessly. That is not true. And or animations are quick, resulting in a 45-second win in feud. Now, he very easily, as long as he doesn't get pinned, wins in 45 seconds. For a 2, at least 2 of the following are true. MP charges 7 or less. No. Moves recycle flawlessly, not without a plate. And our animations are quick, resulting in a win under 60 seconds in feud. I would argue he could be a 4, but by the definition of the terms, the following are true. MP charges 8, absolutely. Can be offset with common trainers. Moves recycle most of the time. It takes some things. And animations are not overly long. So by definition, he is a 3 on that because it just no recycle without a special plate. So unless we want to consider that,
Right?
and
That's your vintage
8
glamour.
MP.
See? Yeah, there it is. Now you see. Now you see why the Rinskos and the Rusties of the world enjoy it.
Well, do we want to give him a? I mean, either way, we if we add vintage glamour, I don't know if we consider that a rare plate, but it's one thing he would need. But it offsets what I would say is a fairly common plate with all heart, which is the way I ran him the first time. So
Yeah, I'm not sure how we would classify vintage glamour. It's available. It was for free in the 7th anniversary, but you had to get lucky to pull it or to it was like a RNG bag, right?
Right.
And then it has been on a prize wall or two. It has been one of the lowest cost prize walls items, and then I think it's in the stip shop every now and then. So I don't know how we classify those seventh anniversary
Yeah.
plates.
I don't know. I think we don't necessarily need to because, like Footer says in here, that's why it's called your roster. We are just showing you the potential good, bad, and ugly,
Right.
and you get to take it from there. And, Footer's, somebody else in here said,
I like that. That's a
oh,
great
Baby
take.
Ice just said he's a 3. So, Baby Ice is our official judge
Just
here. So,
that's the composite score. Bottom line, 3 out of
yeah.
25. Baby ice.
Yeah. Also, I misspelled recycle. I cannot type on this. I have a little keyboard I use so that way I'm not typing up here on the laptop and rocking the screen, but it is a hard one to type on. Anyway, all right, now we get into the subjective side of things where
Yes.
we take some votes on here. And the first one is readiness. On the readiness scale, character needs 0 to 1 special things. That would be a plate, a gear, moment, which, by the way, I didn't talk about the moment because it is in Showdown and Feud, mostly Showdown, so none of that mattered. So him having a moment did not matter for that build. Or a rare trainer. And we did just decide all together on this stream that Zombie Ray is no longer a rare trainer. For a 4, character needs 2 special things. For a 3, character needs 3. And for a 2, character needs 4. Rusty, take it from there.
So our polls are changing. The lightning poll begins now. You have 1 minute only to cast your vote. It is live. It's pinned to the top of the chat. So you got to tap the number and then you got to click vote to cast your vote.
Yeah.
And vote with your head, not your heart. Okay.
That's right.
Lee just gave you
Let's be fair.
a very objective criteria for how to measure these things. Readiness, Lee. I just, now that I have Zombie Ray, I mean, that was the only piece I needed for Dom to be ready.
Yeah.
And now that they voted with a substantial margin that Ray's not rare,
Yeah.
I don't see how his readiness is not a 5.
I agree.
I mean, and I'm not a Dom Mar. I'm not trying to boost this score. He's a B tier that is relying on a 2-year-old Chase character, right? So that's pretty rare. I mean, it's pretty ready, right? So pretty ripe, I guess is what I was trying to say.
I would agree.
And rare proud of this month. The chat absolutely agree with that.
Yep. Does the special thing include not getting pinned? No. No,
that's a great question because that always seems to happen to me.
Right. Well, the chat overwhelmingly said 4, but I mean, again, this is where we're going to need to make some what's it called, judgments here, because let's name 2 things, because to get a 4 it'd have to need 2 things. So we had Kofi, not rare at all. We had Braun, Powerhouse Braun. Maybe some people would say he's rare. I mean, he was a Chase character. Iron Cheek 84 just said in there, in my opinion, anyone who was an old Chase does not count as rare across the community. What else? All Heart is not rare.
Now Braun, I don't know that Braun is a need item. There's plenty of people. Cena is plenty. You can use your Cena, get 45% to yellow in your 2 MP, and it's probably going to be sufficient, or maybe not as good, but right there as good. So a hair behind. So.
I agree. But I mean, so both Discord and Twitch have pretty unanimously said 4. Oh, Baby Ice, that's a good point. If old chases aren't rare, where's my Powerhouse Kevin Owens? I also don't have Powerhouse Kevin Owens.
There are some exceptions, certainly. D'Lo, Braun Strowman, and all of the NXT kind of double MPs. Those are, I don't remember who the one was, but yeah, there are some exceptions.
Well, I guess if we're counting Braun and All Heart, then yeah, that'd be a 4. But yeah, Well,
It's your
either way,
call.
chat and Discord overwhelmingly voted for.
There
Uh,
you go. Four it
that
is.
must be Braun and All
Yeah, I think
Heart.
Braun is Braun. Yeah, no, I agree with that. And we don't need. I mean, I'm thinking with
Yeah, we
my
don't need to
head.
overinflate him.
I don't need it to be higher. Like I don't,
Right. Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
because I hope Cody wins the showdown anyway. So.
Well, Cody's readiness score is going to be just telling you that
Oh
right
man,
off the bat.
yeah, no
But
doubt. Cody's gonna have the lowest readiness we've ever,
right.
we've ever done.
Oh, okay. Versatility. For a 5 on versatility, character needs to be competitively usable in all three major modes: feud, boss, and showdown. And needs to have a special gem type for Extreme Rules and Gem Mania, which all new characters pretty much do. Old characters did not, just as a note, but he does have multiply gems, trap gem. He's got countdown gems. He's got other things going for him. For a 4, character is competitively usable in 2 of the 3 big modes and has a special gem type. And for a 3, character is competitively usable in 1, feud, boss, or showdown, and maybe a sleeper occasionally for boss. So, Rusty, take it from here.
Well, is JD Nash here tonight to troll me about? Because I always Lightning Poll is live, and let me just say, cast your votes right now for versatility. Lock it in. You've only got a minute. I don't know that I want to take Dom into very many formats. Like
Oh,
boss battle, yes.
he
Boss battle,
destroys boss battle. Amazing in
he's
feud.
and in fact they like kind of nerf categories because of Dom in boss battle.
Dom and
Um,
Ray, yeah.
yeah, so but I don't want to feud with him. I don't want that glass cannon, like Sheik called it, to blow up on me in a feud. I don't think there's anything that's helping me in a showdown with him unless it's some kind of CSS situation.
Yeah.
I like the special gem. He's great for Gym Mania. He's great for Extreme Rules. He's great for Boss Battle. So I gave him
Yeah.
a 3.
Interesting. I would personally give him a 4 because I have used him in feud many times, but I'm
Did
not
you vote?
afraid of the glass can. No, I usually
Be
don't.
sure to vote.
Unless it's a
Oh,
tiebreaker, I usually don't.
oh, one vote separates 3 and 4, Lee. One vote.
Well,
One
it
vote.
4-1, and
You're
I
that
would have
guy.
voted for.
You're that guy. You're
Hey,
that guy. Oh, I don't
hey,
vote. I don't vote, but I complain about politics, but I don't
Ro-
vote. No, I'm just kidding.
Robert's Rules of Order. Robert's Rules of Order say that the person who's hosting the meeting only casts their vote in a result of a tie. I'm just saying.
I like it. I
I'm
like
just
it.
saying. Plus, on Discord overwhelmingly was a 4. So across the board, he's a 4. I do see your argument that people aren't going to want to take him into feud because of the glass cannon effect. Thank you, Sheik, for giving us that term. And everybody who is watching this stream right now, immediately go follow Iron Sheik 84 on Twitch and on Discord and on YouTube. But I would say he's good for that mode. I mean, if you don't get the glass cannon, he's good for that mood. Footer said just because we don't want to use him doesn't mean he's not good enough for that mode. I would 100% say
True.
he is. So,
That's true. That's a good
boss
point.
battle hero, great in feud if the glass cannon effect
Yeah.
doesn't go off. Whoops.
Right.
Twitch
Good.
and
Good take, Footers.
Discord.
Good footers. Otherwise, it just becomes a popularity contest, and that's true.
Right.
And you know what, Lee? I actually brought Dom up to level 10, helping hand.
Yep, me too.
He is my 6-star gold, level 10 helping hand, boss battle defense. Like he has owned that category for me for a long time.
Yep. Me too. I've had him as a. He's still, I think, my only. Jacob Fatu is now a level 9 helping hand, but I think he's still my only level 10 helping hand for boss battles. All right. So entourage abilities often make or break for these power ratings, controversially so for some. But here's the deal: this is the first one of his generation that we have power rated, and so
So good.
whatever entourage number we give to Dom also has to go on every one of his generation. So Zombie Ray, Heartbreak Kid, Randy Orton, etc., because they all have the same ability. So Bianca, everybody. Anytime we power rate one of those, this is now the precedent setter. So at 26K, moves and gems, including Trap Countdown and Juggernaut, that generate blue gems will create 3 more blue gems, and insignificantly, it also adds 10% to kick out. So that is your entourage ability. For a 5, that needs to be an essential entourage ability that you don't want to go into battle without. For a 4, that is a widely used coaching ability that helps the character being used reach their full potential. For a 3, it is a niche trainer coaching ability, may not be used much but very valuable when needed. And for a 2, that is a trainer coaching ability that offers something you are missing if other trainers and coaches don't do the job better. And keep in mind, one more time, you are not just voting for Zombie Dom. This is actually every single zombie from that year that you are voting in this category to set the precedent for.
All right, lightning poll is live. Cast your vote for Entourage. You have 1 minute remaining. Lee, this is one of my favorite Entourage cycles, and yet it's not the 5. Like the 5 is the Zombie Gunther, Zombie Chelsea, right. Zombie LA Knight. That is the 5 category for me. Okay. This is a 4. I love the extra gem, but not every superstar makes gems that I need extra of. In fact, many of my best superstars make like a 7x1 or a 6x1, and these don't help that, right? So for me, it's slightly curbed down. How about you?
I would agree with a 4. I would say that this is a widely used trainer coaching ability. For the ones that need it, they need it. Like Zombie Ray. Zombie Ray on Zombie Dom on Zombie Ray. I'll come up with characters, or I'll see like Zorro builds, or people who've got a lot better acumen to this game, Bob, Zorro, others who could just look at characters and go, oh yeah, you just do these things. And I'm like, where in the world did you come up with that? Oftentimes it requires things like Trickster Hogan or one of these zombies to make sure you get everything out of it. And I often forget about that. But but overwhelmingly, it was a 4 in the chat.
81%.
Okay, yeah. And on Discord. Both. Overwhelmingly so.
Wow.
Yeah. So, overwhelming voted 4, and all similar must have this same score now. So that'll mean Zombie Bianca, Zombie Ray, etc., are going to have that same score. So that is, I'm going to count while you tell me what you think about the score overall. How do you think this landed?
Well, I can't see the composite. I paused my video to save my bandwidth. But what is it? Somebody wrote a World Series update when you said, what do you think about the score? It's still 0-0, bottom of the second. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's 5-3-4-4-4, and that is a overall rating of 20 out of 25.
That's very, very good for as old B-tier of a free superstar as Dominic is. Like, that's surprisingly high. That's higher than many A-tier superstars. Anyway, I think it's great. I think it also shows they put a lot of juice into Zombie Month, right? They put a lot of effort, intentionality. We've got a great entourage cycle out of these zombies. We've got a great kind of an evergreen factor. They scale up well. They continue to, most, not all, be usable in future metas. Many are not. Zombie Hogan is a great example of what were they thinking? That poor guy. He's just horrible, you know?
He's so old. He's just so old. Yeah, I gotcha. I mean, I agree. I think that this is fair. I mean, how many videos have we made alone that show that Zombie Dom continues to hit insane damage. Uh, yeah, yeah, that's right.
Is he
Somebody
your
got it.
favorite? Is he your favorite? Like on some level, I feel like you have had a thing for him for a long time.
You know, I secretly am in love with Dom Mysterio, but
Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club.
it's the mustache man. I can't get over the no. Yeah, no. I think he is among my favorites. But again, even saying that, he was one of the first ones I took to 6 gold. I swore that I was going to use him the entire 6 gold meta. Nothing was going to break me from him. But if we're being honest, I mean, you look at technicians in the 6 gold era, Miz, Ilya, Julius. Yeah, I started stripping Dom on my roster for parts. I put his strap on Julius. I put his, or on Miz. I put his plate on somebody else. So I'm not using Zombie Dom anymore on my own roster even, but I want to. Like, he's still super good. But Ilya doesn't
Yeah,
have the glass cannon effect. Julius doesn't have the glass cannon effect. So, but still
but
for
none
a
of those
B
guys were
tier,
free. None of those guys
right,
were the freebies. So
right.
I have to believe that the design team is very clever in how they when we test these superstars. I think we confirm a lot of the hidden design elements of them. It's kind of what I was thinking.
Yep, I agree. Well, I think that's it for this video. Why don't we have you take us out, and then we'll get ready for our first of 5 little giveaways. Take us out, Rusty.
Well, I think I'm not sure which category I'd give Dom to, but I think he is the king of a category. I don't know if it's best free zombie. I don't know if it's best
Yeah.
freebie. There's a case to be made as far as Batista being a king of a category as well. So for now, we're saying Dominic is the king of the category as far as the best free zombie we've ever gotten, unless another freebie knocks him off the throne. The crown is his. Join us each and every Friday night. All you got to do is enter the chat on twitch.tv/WWE Champions, and you can let your voice be heard, cast your vote, and help us get our next power rating. We've got more zombies to come. We've got more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming in the future. We've got a lot of exciting stuff on the horizon, and we want you to be part of it. We'll see you next time, friends.
Bye.